Welcome back to Euro Truck Simulator 2. In this video we're going through some crucial tips for beginners to make money and enjoy the game. And when you first start this game you are going to want to save up to get yourself a truck, get yourself a garage, start hiring some drivers. But do not expect any of that immediately. You are going to have to do quite a bit of driving. It's a relatively slow build up in this game, but you will eventually get there over time. So it's all about being patient and actually just playing the game and enjoying it. And then when you do save up the money, you've bought yourself your first truck, you are going to either be able to take on jobs from other companies, driving their trucks and stuff like you have been, or you can take on jobs driving your own truck because you will have unlocked the freight market. So if we go into the job market and we, for an example, have a look at the quick job, when we are in this menu, my biggest recommendation is sort the jobs by price per distance with the arrow facing down, because that's going to give you the highest paying jobs based on earning the most amount of money for the distance you're driving. So this one is 73 euros per mile. If we go to the other end of the spectrum, you can do this job and it's only it's around 8 euros per mile. So if we have a look at this one, you're going from Malmo in Sweden, you're going over to Norway. This is only 295 miles of driving, and you're going to get 22 grand. Whereas if we have a look at the other one, you're going to get 4,000 euros for this, but it's nearly 500 miles of driving. So I always go for the price per distance. I tend to take on these jobs because they pay the best. But this one might not be that fun to drive because you're carrying 27 tons in a truck that only has 400 horsepower. So it might be set up for heavy cargo, but you're going to be driving fairly slow because the truck just doesn't have that much power. So if we switch over from quick job to freight market and we have a look at this, if we have a look here, price per distance, we're going to get 31,000. That's nearly 100 euros per mile. The only problem with this one is if we select it, it's again starting up in Malmo, Sweden. But if we have a look on the world map, I am currently down in France. So I would have to drive all the way to Sweden and get there in time in order to pick up that job. So what you can do on this world map is you can actually click where you are, and it's going to filter the job so that it only shows that location you're at. So the best job for me to take on right now would be this one, where we're driving from France over to Slovakia. It's 1,000 miles, so it's going to take a very, very long time, but it's 68 euros per mile, which is 73 grand. And these jobs are constantly changing. So this job is going to probably take you, I'm going to say roughly an hour and a half, because each hour in-game time is 3 minutes real life time. So 24 hours in-game is going to be 72 minutes. So that's only an hour and 12 minutes, but there might be some other things that pop up. You might want to take a quick break or something like that. So it's going to take roughly, we'll say anywhere between an hour and 15 minutes to an hour and a half for that journey. And you might not have that much time. So what I would recommend, my personal preference, I would go to the quick job and I would take this one on where you're driving another truck, because you've only got to drive 295 miles. It's quicker. You're actually getting more money per mile. And the payout for this is still decent. You don't need to worry about the ferry price. Because you're not driving your own truck, the company's going to pay for that ferry. Whenever you use the ferry or the channel tunnel in this game, if you're doing the quick jobs, the company you're working for will pay that. And I think that works on the toll roads too. And then in this list, we're looking at my driver manager. When you get further into the game, you've got a garage, you've got a couple of trucks. You're going to be able to hire other drivers. They're computer drivers. So for an example, if we click on Harold, he's a rating of 5. He's got a base wage and everything like that. He's currently on a job that finishes in about 23 hours. But if we have a look up here, you've got a training policy. I've got it set to just-in-time delivery. You can change it to whatever you want. When it comes to completing jobs in this game, you're going to earn experience. That's for you and your drivers. And as seen on this drop-down list, you can change it so you can improve your skills in multiple areas. At the start, I would recommend putting a couple of levels into long distance. So this is long distance here. I've actually got this one maxed out. And then you would start looking more towards the high value and the fragile cargo. What I would do is leave the eco driving until the very, very last thing you do. And my recommendation is the same for you and your drivers, because longer jobs are going to award more XP. And when you add other factors like the fragile cargo, the high value cargo, you add that into it, you're going to be earning much more. And the more it builds up, the more drivers and stuff you've got, the higher rating you've got with the skills, the more money you're going to earn. But not only that, when you're out delivering a cargo, say I've got to take a cargo from London over to Swansea, on my way through, I'm going to pass through Cardiff. I highly, highly recommend you take, like when you're passing a random city in the game on your way to deliver a cargo, I recommend taking that little detour to go and explore the place. Because you can find new truck dealerships, you can find new recruitment agencies, and even garages that you're going to eventually be able to buy when you have the money. When it comes to buying garages in the game, I would get them quite far away from each other so that you've got different areas you can take jobs from. You can fast travel to and from your different garages. So for pure example, if I had 2 garages, one in London, one in Birmingham, then I can fast travel between both of them, and it's just going to be in the local area that's going to be more beneficial to take the jobs from, because otherwise, if I have a job over in Amsterdam, I'm going to have to do all that driving. Whereas if I was to grab a garage in London and I get one in Amsterdam as well, if there's a really high-paying job pop up in Amsterdam, I've just got to fast travel to my garage over there. It basically gives you more accessibility from the freight market, having the garages separated a little bit and not having them too close to each other. And when you start the game, you're looking to get your first truck and everything, you do have a bank in this game. So if we go into this menu, I'm not sure if right at the start of the game you're going to be allowed to borrow up to $500,000, but I can. So for an example, I can take this 400 grand, I can take the 100 grand, and then granted I'm paying like 8.5 grand a day, but it's going to give me a massive cash boost, a temporary cash boost, so that I could buy another garage if I needed to, another driver, get my first truck. So if you are stuck for money, you don't want to do too much driving before buying your first truck, for an example, then come to the bank and take out a loan. And not only that, we mentioned when you're delivering cargo, if you, like for an example, you go past Cardiff on your way to Swansea, like taking that detour and going to Cardiff. Another reason to do that is because if you smash up your truck, if you want a quicker engine, like you want to get upgrades and stuff, a new chassis even, so that you can improve your ability to pull heavier cargo. If we zoom into London, for an example, you are going to see loads of different icons. You have recruitment agencies, you have like repair shops and everything as well. Then make sure you're exploring, like I can't stress it enough, make sure you're exploring all the different cities that are in the game, even if they're not on like your direct path to delivering your cargo. Because when you explore more recruitment agencies, you might have the ability to hire a better driver. When you find a repair shop, you could get an engine upgrade that's going to take your engine, for example, from 400 horsepower up to 650, meaning you can pull your cargo better, you're a little bit faster, you're going to get to your job, like delivery locations quicker at the end of your destination. So just bear in mind that there are repair shops in cities as well as everything else we mentioned, like the recruitment agencies, the garages and things like that. Not every city in the game is going to feature all of the different like locations, but some of them will have all of them, and some of them might have a recruitment agency. Another one you go to might just have a garage. So just make sure you're exploring when you're playing the game. And then if we go to the gameplay options, you can tweak everything so that you can improve the playstyle of the game to fit your personal preference. If you are brand new to the game, I highly recommend turning off some of the penalties, like the traffic offences. If you go through a red light, if you pass the speed limit, if you're doing that at the start of the game, the police catch you, you're going to lose a lot of money. Say you're on your job, you're earning 8 grand, you go through 2 speed cameras over the limit. I think that, I don't know, say for example, that's 800 euros each one. That's a big portion of your final pay that you're going to be losing to traffic offences. One I really like disabling is about halfway down through the truck settings, and is right here, the truck speed limiter. If you have that enabled, it's going to cap your speed limit. If you turn it off, even if the road is a max of 70 miles an hour, whatever metrics you're using, you're going to be able to go like 100 miles an hour down that road. It completely disables the speed lock. But another one I like changing is the rain probability. Even with it only set to 15%, it still rains relatively often. If you've got it like 50%, you're going to spend a lot of the time you're driving in the rain. So have a little mess around with these settings, tweak them all to your personal preference. When you get to the end of your destination, your drop-off point for your cargo, what I recommend is learning to reverse your trucks. Spend a little bit of time messing around with it. Learn exactly how it works when you have a trailer attached, because if you leave the setting on its default, then you are going to be able to choose what you want to do when you're dropping off the cargo. You can make the game do it automatically. You can find a very simple spot to drop it off, or you can put the cargo exactly where the company wants it, and you're going to earn a lot more XP if you do that. So learn to reverse your trucks, because if you're choosing to put it exactly where they want it, oftentimes they will make you reverse it. But not only that, there is a fatigue simulation in this game. It's going to make you tired. So it's a lot more realistic when you're doing longer jobs, and you can turn that off if you want to. I always have that off because I just can't be bothered to pull over to like one of the resting spots near a fuel station, a gas station or whatever. I don't want to always be stopping off at those just to let my character sleep. But again, it comes down to personal preference and exactly how you want to play the game. And then switching over from the games menu to the Steam Workshop, you'll see that I have got quite a few mods enabled. There are so many different Steam Workshop mods you can use to enhance your gameplay experience. You'll see I've got really real company names, I've got like cargo packs, I've got real traffic density, I have realistic rain. There are so many more to choose from. If we actually go to the workshop instead of the ones that I have enabled, you'll see here you've got things like an LED light bar, you've got Scania front bumper fog lamps, you've got trailer rear bumper round LED lights, international traffic pack, and then if we go most subscribed, you've got mega pack, you've got real European gas stations reloaded, unlimited money in XP if you fancy doing things like that. You just have so many mods available for this game, and all you have to do to equip these mods is just go into one and you're going to subscribe to it. So for an example, if I wanted this one, I go to the LED light bar pack and I go down, click subscribe, and then when you load up the game, you can put the mod on, and in the description, often people will tell you, you have to make sure this has high priority for it to work properly, so on and so forth. There are so many mods, and they completely change the way the game plays. So I'd recommend spending a little bit of time in the Steam Workshop so that you can change your experience and just fit it to your personal playstyle and how you want to play the game. So there is a lot in Euro Truck Simulator 2 that's going to personalize the experience. You can play the game exactly how you want to play it. And there is so much to offer in the game with just the base game, and then you get even more through DLC, and there's a lot of DLC for this game. The game's been around for over 10 years. And even though the game's been around for over 10 years, it still has a lot of people playing worldwide. One of my favourite things about the game is the radio. You can tune into a bunch of different radio stations, you can just listen to music, you can chill, you can deliver your cargo. But that was some crucial tips for beginner players to get into ETS 2 or Euro Truck Simulator 2. Tips for beginners to make money and enjoy the game. So let me know your thoughts and stuff about the game in the comments. That's going to do it for this video. I will see you guys in the next one. I hope it helped you out. I hope you enjoyed it. Thank you for watching.